Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Arthur and you're watching Dirt Hammers Off-Road Media. Hey guys, once again welcome. I'm Arthur and today we're going to do a heater coil flush, or I'm going to show you how to do a heater coil flush on a 2012 2018 JK. This covers the 3.6 liter Pentastar engine, and we'll get a little more in-depth conversation about some heater coil issues and what you can expect when you flush them and some of the symptoms, things like that. So let's get started. Okay, so the 2012 to 2018 JKs, the 3.6 liter, when that engine came about, it's not uncommon for heater coils to get plugged up with what appears to be casting sand. It's something in the manufacturing process of the engine blocks. Maybe they're not getting flushed enough or adequately or something. So it's all over the internet. Any Facebook group or forum, there's plenty of talk about heater coil issues that are becoming clogged on this particular model and this particular engine. So I've already flushed my heater coil once last year, and of course it's clogged again. And when I flushed it the first time, I got exactly what everybody was anticipating would be casting sand. Is what I got out of it, just flakes of it. So, I mean, if you have a cooling system that's been neglected and you have, corrosion, or, you got some real nasty, rusty looking fluid, or, there could be some sludge or some other contaminants from some other problem, flushing this heater coil the way I show you today may not necessarily fix all of your problems. You could have something else going on with your cooling system, whether you're getting some oil in it. Maybe someone, if you bought a vehicle used, maybe someone put some regular tap water in the cooling system. Tap water will raise havoc on a cooling system, and scaling, corrosion, stuff like that will occur. So I'm anticipating that I'm going to get some casting sand out of this, and I got a solution, I think, how I'm going to filter that stuff out of there, so I'm not doing this again next year. So let's get started. Okay, so before we get started, I want to show you a couple things that I purchased to do this job. I got everything at Home Depot or Lowe's, and I probably got around maybe $50 in all the supplies. But first thing I wanted to do is buy some hose. This is 10 foot of 5/8 inside diameter hose, and we'll use this to connect our water hose and give us a drain hose. Some of the other items was some plastic unions. These are so I can join the hoses. So I got a couple of those. Got some hose clamps that we'll use. And here's another union. You can see those are just a union to join two hoses together. And I also mentioned how I was going to prevent this from clogging up again in the future. And what I purchased was this guy. You can see this is basically two quality hose fittings. Male, female, 5/8 barbed fittings. I even put a filter screen in here. This is a filter screen from water pressure, or pressure washer water pump or repair kit. Here it is, O-ring kit. I think it was a Briggs & Stratton part. It came with some O-rings, and it came with two of these filter screens, so that was kind of handy. But I picked these up. These are the nice brass quality fittings. If you go to the lawn and garden section, they usually have these, but they're cheaper, lower quality fittings. I mean, these things were nearly 10 bucks a piece at Lowe's. But you can see I got the filter screen in there. And I'm gonna put these, of course we'll seal the threads up, but I'm gonna put this in line on the coolant inlet hose so I can capture a lot of the junk before it gets to the heater coil. That way when it comes time there's an issue, I'll just open this up, pull the screen out, back flush this, put it back together, and we're off rolling again. So that should be pretty cool. There's a guy on Amazon selling these for like 50 bucks. These 3 parts. Well, 2 hose clamps, so it'd be 5 parts, but 50 bucks. You can buy these for probably about everything you need for probably about 20-25 bucks at Lowe's. So we'll see how well this works. Okay, so I got the hoses hooked up. This hose here coming off of this coolant line right here. This is normally your coolant into the heater coil. This line here, this is normally your coolant line return from the heater coil. So what I have here, this line here, since this is the inlet, this is going to be my dump hose. You see I got my hose connected, and I got a catch bucket down here. There's not a lot of coolant in there, but we want to catch it and dispose of it properly. And as you can see, this line here is normally my return. So what I have hooked up to it is I have my flush line hooked right up to my water hose. This is just a standard, any lawn and garden place you can get those fittings. So this is how we're going to flush it. We're actually going to force water through the return line and back out the inlet line is how we're going to flush that. You can see the plastic unions. You really don't need to secure those. It's pretty low pressure with the garden hose. They fit tight and snug. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to capture a little sample in this bottle, and hopefully we can I can show you some of the stuff that comes out of it. So we're just going to try to go ahead and flush this and capture a little bit of sample of it in here. So we've got the garden hose hooked up. We're just going to start feeding it. Oh yeah. Wait till I show you this stuff here. It's coming out. Let's see if we can take it. Okay, so here's our sample bottle. With the color, it's kind of hard to see anything down in there, but take a look at that. See if I can get that to focus in, but you can kind of see that stuff. And wait till you see this in the bucket. See all that in the coolant? Let's pour this in here. Look at that stuff that's left inside the sample bottle. So that's what's clogging up the heater coil. That's a lot of just debris and what they call casting sand. You can kind of see it floating around in the coolant. So we're going to continue to flush and see how much of this stuff we can get out. There's another sample. And that's what we're getting out of the heater coil, and that's what's plugging it up. The heater coil has small passages. Doesn't take much to clog it up, but you can see that. Take one more look after I've flushed it, kind of hit it twice with the sample bottle. See that debris down in the bottom of the bucket when I move the coolant around? Look at that. So we're going to continue to flush. There's one more final look at what I got out of the heater coil. And that was just in the first couple minutes. I flushed it for another 10 minutes, and I could still see debris traveling through the clear hose. So this is just after the first couple minutes. So make sure you flush it for at least 10 minutes. But you can see that's some nice stuff that was in there clogging that thing up. Okay guys, so you've seen how much debris with just a couple of blasts from the water hose. I don't even have 2 quarts. I may have 2 or 3 quarts of water in that bucket, and you can already see how much debris is in there. Once you get all the antifreeze captured in a bucket and you're getting nothing but clean water out when you're flushing it, don't be afraid to go ahead and just flush that thing for 5-10 minutes. Put your tie strap on the nozzle on the water hose and just let it run. Get as much of that stuff out of there as you can. And that's what I'm going to do in this next step. Okay guys, so there we got the cooling system flushed, and I installed the filter system that I previously showed earlier in the video. I went ahead and sealed the threads with some pipe sealant, snugged these 2 joints up pretty good. I didn't want to over tighten them. All I did was take a razor blade knife and slit the hose. I did not take any length out of the hose. There's plenty of room for it, and plus the extra hose keeps this the two hoses separated. I'm going to try to pull this wire loom back up over this just to protect it. But the reason I didn't take any length out of the hose is I'm going to take a 5/8 hose union and put it in my gear bag. That way, if I ever have a problem with this joint, 2 worm gear clamps, pull this out, put my union fitting back in, put a union fitting in there, tighten the 2 clamps up, and I'm good to go. Or I could buy just this section of hose and put it in the truck, or the Jeep, I'm sorry. It's just a short section that hooks to the firewall, comes to here. And I apologize, my neighbor is leaf blowing next door, if you can hear his leaf blower, but that's how you install the filter system. Like I said, I'm gonna pull this back over. I got my hoses hooked up here. Now would be a good time to, you'd want to start the Jeep, you know, check for leaks at every joint that you disconnected, and this joint. I know a lot of people's gonna jump on me saying that I've introduced a problem here. Well, yeah, there is a potential area now for a leak or something to occur, but it's just something I'm gonna have to monitor, and I would rather take this apart here, flush that screen, get rid of all the debris instead of letting that debris clog and settle inside the heater coil, which will cost me more money in the long run. So I think this is a pretty good idea, and we'll just see how it goes. I'll do an update video and see how much debris that I'm capturing in this, and post that up. But okay, I'm going to show you the packages that I used for this. These 2 right here are the male and female hose adapters that I used for my filtering system. That'd be that brass piece there. That's these 2 fittings, so you can get that information off the packaging. These 2 here are just the 2 plastic unions that I used to join the clear hose to the heater core hose. This is just the hose that I bought. You can see it's 5/8 inside diameter, which was important. The 3/4 is just the outside. You want 5/8 inside. Then here's the O-ring kit that I bought from Home Depot. It comes with 2 of these guys, the little filter screens, so you get a spare, and some O-rings that you won't use. But okay guys, so there's a video on how to flush your cooling system on your 3.6 liter Pentastar engine. And as you saw, I put a filter in there. We'll see how much stuff we capture in that. But also, this is a good time now. You're gonna have to start the vehicle, get it up to temperature, get a thermostat open, get water circulating, check for leaks, and you're gonna have to add some additional coolant because we flushed out a little bit, we lost some, so now we're gonna have some air pockets in there. So now would be a good time to start the vehicle, top it off with coolant, and that's how you flush a heater coil on a Jeep Wrangler. And I didn't go into too detail on how to put that filter system. I thought it was pretty self-explanatory about the fittings that I used, the screen, razor blade, cut the hose straight in half, join it in between the 2 hoses. It's pretty simple. But until next time guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you comment. I'd like to hear your ideas on my filter system or any other techniques for flushing a heater coil. But make sure you subscribe guys. Make sure you comment, subscribe, and until next time, keep Jeeping, keep them dual sports tuned up, and we'll talk to you later.